Hi, it's Stan Reinford, and welcome to this week's market update. Hard to believe it's the end of January already, so this is our last one for January. So let's jump into it. Again, thank you so much for the great compliments and great conversations and great suggestions. I really appreciate them. So let's help some of you understand this. As always, we have some new people that are joining. So below here, we have the candlestick charts that are going basically since November till today, January 28th. So, and we're kind of going sideways, up and down. A green candle means that rates either got a little bit better or went sideways. Red means that rates got worse or went up and or going sideways. So, and then above here we have the the three boxes here. To the left we have the 30-year Treasury. To the center is the 10-year, and then to the right is the S&P. So let's just kind of jump into it. Let's talk about what's happening out there in market moving news. So today was the end of the two-day Fed meeting, and rates were left unchanged. So 3.5 to 3.75 is the Fed funds rate. And the Chairman Powell concluded that basically that unemployment is leveling out or stabilizing, and that they believe that the tariffs and anything that they were causing in inflation is soon to be diminishing. And if that does happen sooner than later, then they will loosen their policies possibly sooner. They do expect possibly 2 rate cuts this year. So, and the market was already seeing that, because you can see here on the 30-year Treasury, we're at 1 basis point today, which basically means that it wasn't all over the place and everything. So that being said, what's happening with the new Fed chairman? So everyone anticipated that by now President Trump would have already announced. However, in the last few days, there's no longer 2 people, and I've spoken about Kevin Warsh and Kevin Hassett previously, but the president just announced the other day that he was remarking about BlackRock's fixed income chief, Rick Reeder, as a possible candidate. We don't know, but a lot of times they're leaking information to see how the markets are going to react. So there is a possibility, but we don't know. So let's talk jobs. So ADP released their jobs report last week for the 4 weeks ending January 3rd, and there were approximately 30,000 jobs that were created, which is not strong. It's very weak. And if the January numbers come out now that way, it could possibly show signs that the workforce is diminishing also. So we'll have to wait and see. So housing. Interest rates are starting to come down, as I've been telling everyone. What's happening now is that there are more people getting into the market right now because rates are coming down, which then more competition is going to possibly cause housing prices to increase. So keep an eye on that. And then the media is back at it again. There was an article the other day that came out about that cancellations of contracts were on the rise. It turns out that NAR just recently released a report that showed that cancellations are unchanged at 5%. You're always going to have contracts that don't go to closing, that do get canceled for one reason or another, home inspections, whatever that might be, it happens. So we'll have to wait and see on a lot of the other things there, including who the next Fed chairman is. But let's talk rates at the moment. So interest rates are still in that low 6% area on purchases, depending on how much someone is putting down, depending on credit scores, depending on debt ratios, on a lot of different things. Whether it is a government loan or conventional, government loans are generally slightly lower in interest rate than a conventional. And again, second homes and investment properties are higher than primary residences. And again, if someone's looking at doing a refinance, whether it is a cash out to consolidate debt, to do home improvements, anything like that, or home equities, we do it all, whether it's a primary residence, second home, or investment property. So please forward and share. If you have any questions or concerns about yourself or anyone you know that's looking at buying or refinancing, please give me a call. Love to help. Have a great week and take care.